communities of color will be impacted the most. And we have residents here in Spartanburg who use medical devices, life-saving medical devices that uses power. Also, customers could expect to pay at least $336 per year without even flipping a switch. Low and income customers will be hit the hardest. The regressive increase because they use less electricity, than higher income families. The mandatory fee discourages energy savings because it takes away the choice of control on what you pay through your own energy use. These mandatory fees also get in the way of innovations that we need to develop for future power and clean energy. Increased mandatory fees make up more costly investing savings steps to better insulate our homes, buying cost-efficient appliances. In other words, we have no benefits when we try to save energy on our own. Duke Energy regressive new fees will make up more. You've seen people who are discouraged from buying the solar energy. It has no benefit to them. And we understand that I'm repeating a lot of things that people are saying, but as a pastor, I understand faith comes by hearing. And as you continue to hear, and we speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, we advocate for those that I visit on Friday, those people who are barely making enough to make ends meet. Sometimes they have to choose between feeding their families or feeding themselves or buying medical supplies. Okay, I see my time's out.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. Any questions from commissioners? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Colleen Nash, please come forward. Beverly Lawson, you're on deck.
Hello, Ms. Nash. Raise your right hand. You affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Colleen Nash. I live at 641 South Church Street. I agree with everybody else. Hey, I'm not that old, but I'm old. I'm getting that little check too, And the thing is, back in 2018, there came up that they sent me a new address. And I asked them, why did they give me a new account number, And I've been at this house for 5 years. And I talked to them, and they let me talk to about 10 people. They took my deposit off the old account and put it on the new account, $250. I said, why did you give me a new account? I didn't move. I hadn't did anything. And nobody to this day have told me or explained to me why they did it. And I got it in writing, and then I got a couple of letters that another man's name is on my address. I said, how you going to build a house on top of my house? I live at 641 South Church Street. How you going to assign that number to somebody else? And I prayed and I cried. I prayed and I cried. But God worked it out that I was able, my light bill that in January of that year was like almost $900. And I don't get with them putting that $250 back on there. And that's not right. If you go in and key that address in, it should show you that a house is already there. You should take more time and research. And they said it was their mistake, but they never did give me credit for $250. They gave me credit finally for $150. And I don't think it's fair. If you made a mistake, just be a man or woman and say, well, we made a mistake, Miss Nash. We're going to take care of it. But, I just don't understand it. I don't know if it's not taking time. But they told me that somebody made a deposit at their address, and that's the reason why, they went ahead. So I'm saying, what about me, though? I'm not moving. So y'all going to build a new house on top of my house? Or what's going to happen? How can we both have the same address? And I'd like to know, because I got my bills here. I got a letter that they sent and got another. This is Mr. Moore's name. He's got the same address I got. And I don't understand it. Because, you know, I only get a certain amount. And I done had about 3 surgeries last year. And still, you know, I only get a certain amount. And I know everybody else do it. It's just not fair. If you go up, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, we need Duke Power. But Duke Power don't need us, and I know that. But we do need the power company. And I feel like, you know, we do what they want to do, and that's it. But it's not fair.
Ms. Nash, there's a representative here from Duke in the back. Would you show him your bills and let him see if he can help you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nash. Any other questions from parties or commissioners?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Nash, I will also ask not to take up too much of your time.
That's fine.
If you could get with the Office of Regulatory Staff, that nice young lady sitting right there at the end, her office works with ratepayers in situations like yours. So in addition to Duke Power, if you have time, if you could speak with someone from Director Edwards' office, I think it may help.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nash.
All right, Beverly Lawson, please come forward, and Richard Hand, you're on deck.
Okay. Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Beverly Lawson, 451 Murph Road, Murph without a Y, Pauling, South Carolina, 29374. The reason I give that statement about Murph Road is because there's 2 Murph Roads in Spartanburg County. Number 1. Number 2, I want to talk about preventive maintenance. My husband works for a company that makes parts that supplies BMW. If they shut them down, it's $11,000 a minute. Now, my husband, being in preventive maintenance, discovered our neighbor's tree was hanging over a power line. On August the 11th, after he had called 3 separate times, y'all didn't bother to answer his call, and the tree fell on the line. We were without power on a Saturday morning, and yes, we keep our grandchildren like a lot of people do. We are on a fixed income. I'm a retired government employee who worked at the unemployment office for 40 years. And in that period of time, I have discovered that if you don't prevent something from happening, it's going to happen. They had to shut Murph Road down at Walnut Grove, Pauline Road, and at Finch and Lanford Road. People couldn't get in or out because of it. It blocked the road. Second of all, my husband looked at the bills because he doesn't pay them. I do. This little paper that the other lady talked about, it says to me, this month you spent $51 more than most efficient neighbors. Isn't it amazing? My husband won't let me have a warm house, so he put in gas logs. He keeps it at 72 because he thinks that's being frugal. Also, during the summertime, he's not going to let me have it at 72. It's got to be at 78 because he wants to be frugal. In addition to that, when he calculated the kilowatt hours, we're being charged for a building that he doesn't use except to build bookshelves. And at that point in time, he's being charged 40 cents a kilowatt hour, and our residence is being charged 9 cents. Now, this minimum, what you're calling a basic facilities charge, concerns him and me, because now it's on my shoe. I am now a retired employee from the government who doesn't get a lot of money in retirement, and I'm now on that fixed income. And he warned me. Our grandson's here tonight with us, and he said, Beverly, you're going to be spending my orange money. You got to be careful. Then when he got laid off from one of the companies, he said, well, honey, just hang in there like a hair in a biscuit. So that's what we're trying to do. But my son reminded me today as he walked out the door, he said, Mom, these smart meters are supposed to save us money. How come you're asking for a minimum of $28? Because if you're going to charge us $56 or more, it's going to take away from the fact that we are taking care of 2 grandchildren and a daughter, and we're on a fixed income. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions from the parties? Commissioners? Thank you very much.
Richard Hand, please come forward, and Chris Joyner, you're on deck.
Mr. Hand, do you affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I didn't really sign up to speak, but I'll go ahead since you asked me to. I will. But
State your name and address for us.
I'm sorry, Richard Hand, 116 Charlestown Court, Moore. I'm retired. I'm retired from a Fortune 250 company, and we used a lot of power, about 30,000 a month. And I know a lot of Duke Power people, a lot of them are personal friends of mine. But being retired, it kind of feels like a base charge of that much going up is excessive, of course. And it's like anything else. Every year or by a couple of years, our Duke's going to go up on our power, as does my television bills go up every year. It's going to go $10 a year anyway. So I was watching this advertisement on Channel 7. I was watching the part where we were going to have this council meeting, and right behind that was Spartanburg tax officials come up and say we're going to see increases in certain taxes on our tax bills, and it seems to me like it just keeps on and on and on, and people just can't do that. It's between taxes and power and water and those sort of things, and I just wish somebody would pay attention and kind of look out for us. And we do have a lot of industry, and I know you have to give tax breaks and stuff like that, and power breaks and all kinds of stuff to get industry to move in. But we've got a good bit of it, and I just think they could afford it a lot easier than we could. So, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. Chris Joyner, please come forward, and Kevin McDicey or McDuty, perhaps, you're on deck.
Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You state your name and address.
Name is Chris Joyner. That's Joyner. Live at 122 Pastoral Drive, Chesney, 29323. The first part I'm going to read here is that every once in a while in their bills, they see these little pamphlets with really fine print, letting you know what their plans are and what they plan to do. I have a picture of it. It says, Duke Energy Caroline's request the proposed increase be effective June 1st, 2019. It says a typical customer using only 1,000 kilowatts will see an increase of $15.57 per month beginning on this rate. It says the request June 1st and an increase of $1.54 per month beginning on June 1st, 2020, and an additional another $1.92 per month beginning June 1st, 2021. It seems like everybody here is focusing on this base rate, but not only this base rate, but for the next 2 years per month, we're increasing also. So the annual revenue for 2018 for Duke Energy was $24.52 billion. Net, now their net income after their expenditures was $2.66 billion. So you're profiting almost $3 billion a year, but you need to take from our little pocket. The CEO, of course, makes over $21 million. Now everybody here knows what the Fortune 500 list is, right? Last year, 2018, Duke Power ranked 125 on the Fortune 500 list. It says in 2018 also, their fourth quarter earnings, just their fourth quarter alone, was $464 million. You know how much my pay increase was over the past 2 years? 2%. I got 2%. So what I make, that equates to about 63 cents an hour, maybe. So if a company is allowed to simply raise rates to rectify irresponsible management practices, what is the incentive for them to change? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joyner. Any questions from parties, commissioners? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kevin, okay, thank you. David Niven, you're on deck.
That's right here. Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Joy Remy, 112 Murph Hill Road, Cowpen, South Carolina. And the gentleman before me said a lot of things that I wanted to say. But also wanted to add that I did a lot of reading when I saw that this was coming up. And I'm just really shocked that Duke Power doesn't seem to pay any income taxes. I mean, I read 5 years ago in a report that their federal tax rate was negative 3.9%. Last year in Business Insider magazine, it was minus 5.9%. So they're having lots of profits every quarter. They're not paying income taxes, and they're getting rebates. The one report that I read was $287 million on all these profits in 1 year, and they need more. I mean, I'm not a business person, but I'm a hospice nurse, and I deal with people who are sick and in times of crisis in their lives. You know, we have the cost of insulin is going up. I'm sure we've seen that. You know, somewhere someone has to say no. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the parties, commissioners? Thank you, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
That's David
Nivens.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Gilbert.
Please state your name and address.
My name is David Nivens Sr. I live at 2 Claymont Avenue, Boiling Springs, 29316. I'd like to start off with saying that Duke Power Company preaches for us to be more efficient. We get these little flyers in the mail, they advertise in the lights, or we'll send somebody out to show you how to insulate. We'll help you in getting discounts. So they're trying to get us to lower the load, and what that does, that lowers the load at Duke Power Company. And by doing that, it reduces operating expenses, and by reducing the operating expenses, that puts more profit back into the company for the shareholders to get. It's not for the customers. The customers are ones that saves the money. Our rewards for being conservative is increasing our rates so that the stockholders will get more. In the business I used to work in, what profit the company received if they need company vehicles or do any maintenance work around the shop or anything like that, it come out of the profits. That's the purpose of making profit, is to keep your expenditures up. And then, why should we pay for their mistakes? Like they've already mentioned, it was $62 million to clean up coal ash. And it was $152 million for solar farms, and I really hadn't understood exactly what that was entailed. And then you had $125 million they want to recover the cost of the lead nuclear station plant in Gaffney that was canceled 2 years ago. Why should we pay for their mistakes? It's not the customer's fault. It didn't come out of our pockets to build it, so we shouldn't have to make it up to them. I was a Duke Power Company employee for 3 years back in the mid-'60s. My father was a division superintendent for production transmission department here in Spartanburg for about 25 years, and he retired in December of '65. I know how Duke Power is. I left Duke Power because of a lot of problems. Duke Power Company got too political. I sat down last night and looked at my 2018 bill that totaled $1,201. Estimated for this year with the increase would be $1,402. These charts that they were showing, those color charts, I had 7 months it was the best. I had 3 months it was in between effective and average, and I had 2 months it was even. So that means that my house is not that insulated, not that well.
Thank you, Mr. Nivens. Any questions for Mr. Nivens? Parties, commissioners? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Kelly, Tiffany, Gilbert, please come forward, and Jerry
affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I sure do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Kelly Shippey Gilbert. I'm going to spell it for you because it's kind of a challenge. Kelley's. Oh, can you not start the clock until I get my name and address out? Okay, KelleyShippeygilbert. I live at 147 Eastwood Circle here in Spartanburg. Okay, so that was 15 seconds, 20 seconds of my time. I wanted to say some things that other people haven't said. I echo all of the sentiments, all of the reasons that this is a bad, bad decision. But I wanted to let y'all know, I had people ask me, they said, well, why would you even go to a public hearing? What can that accomplish? Duke Energy is powerful. We are powerless. You know, they are a public monopoly. They are rapidly acquiring other energy companies. They are participating in a lot of different programs. They give you free CFLs. This isn't going to cost you really. I think it may. They want to bury our lines underground. It's not going to cost you a penny. Just give us an easement 20 feet across your property that's only 100 feet wide, and we'll give you $1.